Within us are riches. Within us is a treasure greater than any we can ever or could ever accumulate on earth. We have inside us a source of knowledge from which all other knowledge flows. A love far greater and fulfilling than any we can know in the outer world is waiting to embrace us with open arms within. At our core is a strength and power that can enable us to overcome any fear. Underlying our separateness as individuals is a connectedness and oneness to all life. Awaiting us inside is a bliss and joy so fulfilling that we need no other intoxicants to make us happy. All these gifts lie within us, in the empowered soul, in the fully realized ascendant meta-human. The soul is a source of tremendous wisdom, love, and power. Yet we remain ignorant of its treasures when we allow it to be overpowered by the mind, by the five senses, and the physical body. When the mind and body assert power over the soul forgets itself. But the empowered soul is our true nature. And it is time we reclaim the soul, that its gifts, so that its gifts can enrich our lives. There are two ways to view ourselves with regard to the soul. The first is to view ourselves primarily as a body and mind. When we see ourselves in this manner, we say that we are a mind and body that have a soul. The second is to see ourselves from the meta-human ascendant standpoint, primarily as a soul having a human experience. When we change perspective and when we identify as the soul, when we say that we are a soul who has a or wears a mind and body, to assess how we look at ourselves is one of our goals in empowering your soul through meditation, through the spiritual technologies and ascension modalities of the Academy of the Ascendants. If we think we are a mind and body, then ours is a journey to find the soul. However, if we realize that we are the soul, which has been given a mind and body to maneuver through the physical world, then our goal is to further empower the soul. By empowering the soul, we recover its natural control over the mind and senses. And oftentimes, what happens with the mind and the senses overpowering the soul from that aspect is that we become fragmented. We are fragmented in the sense that this fragmentation serves to further occlude or hide or obscure, diminish the power of our soul in our lives, insofar as we are not able to identify with that soul as a soul. And so we become fragmented. Well, that is what the demiurge is all about. And the demiurge is a term that the Gnostics use to identify the physical creator of this world. But without getting into too much terminology and becoming lost in the weeds, so to speak, with further fragmentation, it is best to understand the demiurge as our ego, that aspect of mind that basically keeps us from the power of our soul, living with soul awareness. And fragmentation is a natural result of this hustle and bustle of this modern life that we all find ourselves in, and is the express purpose of the digital matrix, of the artificial intelligence hive mind, of the descended master distractor fasters, of the black magic technological wizards of the Silicon Valley, who seek to do nothing but continue to distract you from your soul power. who seek to get you trapped in the metaverse, on top of already being trapped by your five senses, seeing that this third dimension reality is the only reality. Well, we must learn to, what I call, defragment the demiurge, the defragmentation of the demiurge. And what I have here is an image of, this is a disk space, and you can see the optimal disk space usage after defragmentation is this bottom down here with all the blue area, which is congruous, which is disk space that is available. But what happens is with this fragmentation of, by design, what's living in the digital matrix in the third fallen dimension of harmonic universe number one is nothing but to keep you distracted, fragmented through various means, through various digital media, through various dramas, through various methods to harvest your energy and distract you and fragment you. Well, the defragmentation of the demiurge is a calling back to your own power, of returning to your own source-connected awareness. And so methods such as meditation, methods such as any self-empowering creative endeavor that brings your attention back within your own creative faculties is, in essence, defragmentation of the demiurge, which is essentially can be understood simply as our own egos. And when we begin to investigate spiritual technologies and ascension modalities, methods to raise our consciousness to superhuman, metahuman level, we begin to make an eternal being out of our soul, the personality. Our personality becomes integrated. It becomes defragmented. We run this process by various means of various practices, which results in a true power, true victory over our fallen human fear of death, of disempowerment. And essentially, when we understand the demiurge as the ego, which basically is our sense of individuality, the belief of being an autonomous unit of existing in separated reality, and that is what the digital matrix does. It just further fragments and keeps us in separation. And once that idea of separation of the fall, we can look at it like we're all fallen angels. But when we begin to look at ourselves in that manner, as the ego is what keeps us from our God mind, the ego mind is the God mind. And when we begin to investigate these modalities of spiritual technology, we begin to empower ourselves. Now, according to Gnosticism, the demiurge is the fashioner of the creator of the divorced lower world of manifestation of this 3D fallen earth, and its chief rulers, the chief of its rulers, the archons, epitomizes the ego in the realm of separation. The demiurge, the ego, your ego, my ego, is the originator of evil and cosmic imperfection. Hence, the real God, the real creator, the all that is, the prime creator, the divine grid programmer, the real God, the real source, is not the creator of the cosmos, of the physical through the senses that we perceive through the senses. It is the demiurge. And the early Christians associated the demiurge with the Old Testament's Jehovah, Yahweh, and his capricious, vengeful, and jealous nature. So many Christians, many Bible thumpers are worshiping this demiurge God, the defective God who created this world based on its own flawed image and removed from the essential wholeness of which he was an expression. Like the ego, the demiurge is mislaid by his personal whims of being the absolute power and knowing everything about life. Like many Christians who are arrogant and who think that, you have to say exactly what they said to know Jesus so you can go to heaven. No, that's their ego. They're the demiurge. They're the puppets of the demiurge. Inadequate and foolish little errand people of the demiurge who try to tell us all that we're the wicked because we're not following exactly what Jesus and, and worshiping, becoming intoxicated with Jesus. So listen, the function of the initiation process of becoming an ascendant metahuman, far from promoting antagonism with the demiurge, is to release the perception of separation and unveil the reality of unity, or bring together the lower with the higher self. That is what yoga is, yoking the lower self to the higher self. When the human self and the divine I are interconnected, they can achieve perfection and eternity. So stick around, stay tuned for further information dissemination broadcasts from the Umbanda New Earth Ashram for compassion and strength, and yoking the lower Terran nature to the higher ascendant meta-human nature, and thus achieving the New Earth Golden Age timeline.
Namaste, Namaskaram.